A scream tore through the quiet night, sharp and explosive, like a gunshot that split reality in two. The car lay upside down, twisted metal reflecting the dim streetlights. Smoke curled into the night sky, carrying the sharp smell of gasoline and iron. She tried to move. Her hands were sticky. Blood? Whose blood? Hers? His? She couldn't tell. "Luke!" she cried, voice cracking with terror. Only silence answered. Moments ago, they were laughing, talking about their unborn daughter, dreaming of a stroller, of a future together. Now, only glass, wreckage, and darkness surrounded her. Rescuers pried the door open. She screamed again, lungs burning with pain, her body trembling uncontrollably. They didn't make it, they said. Luke, gone. The baby, gone. She woke in a sterile hospital room, her body weak, her soul broken. 21 years old, and her world had ended. Days merged into nights. She drew the curtains and never left her apartment. Her phone stayed off. Until the envelope appeared. Plain, white, waiting silently in her mailbox. Inside, a single sentence. This wasn't an accident. Her fingers shook. The scream replayed in her mind. Someone was implying it had been intentional. That evening, a message appeared from an unknown number. He knew too much. Luke? Her Luke? A simple man, a dreamer, always quiet, always smiling. Who could have wanted him dead? Fear had taken root. She tried to ignore it, but it whispered in every shadow. The next day, a photograph lay on her apartment floor. The car, upside down, windows shattered, written on the back in black ink, "You're next." Her heart froze. She understood. There would be no escape. Somewhere in the darkness, they were already waiting. Always waiting. She clutched Luke's jacket, inhaling his faint scent, remembering the small moments. How he laughed while fixing the old radio. How he whispered dreams in the dark. Every memory now a knife in her chest. The envelope and messages became her obsession. She couldn't sleep. Every sound, footsteps, a door creaking, a distant car, felt like a threat. She went to the police. Cold, dismissive. Maybe it's a prank. Accidents happen every day. No one listened. The walls of her apartment felt tighter, closing in. She opened the closet, reaching for Luke's jacket, hoping for comfort. Instead, she found a notebook. Inside, pages filled with names and dates, some crossed out. The last page screamed, "They will come for me. If anything happens, find James." James? Who was he? Luke had whispered, stepped outside, made phone calls, always quiet. Now these whispers became warnings etched on paper. Her phone rang, the same unknown number. "You were supposed to die with him." "Who are you? What do you want?" she shouted. Silence. Then a whisper. "Look out the window." Outside, under the dim streetlight, a tall figure in a dark coat stood unmoving. He drew a finger across his throat. She recoiled, heart hammering. Instinct took over. She grabbed Luke's notebook, phone, keys, and ran. Down the stairs, almost falling, breath ragged, fear clawing at her chest. Every shadow seemed alive. Every sound followed her. She knew one thing. She had to find James. Maybe James knew why Luke had died, why she had survived, and why she was next. Somewhere in the darkness, they were waiting. always waiting, and she had no idea how close they already were. She hadn't slept for nights. Every sound made her jump. Footsteps in the hallway, the rustle of leaves outside, each one a threat. The world had become a predator. The phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Her heart pounded in her chest. She could barely breathe. "Who is this?" she whispered into the empty room. Silence. She went to the police, clutching Luke's notebook. "They're coming for me. You have to help me." They looked at her coldly. Maybe it's a prank. Accidents happen every day. No one cared. No one believed. Back at her apartment, she opened the closet. Luke's jacket hung there, silent and comforting. Inside the pocket, the notebook she hadn't fully examined. Pages filled with names, dates, crossed-out notes. The last line screamed, "Find James." James. Who was he? The pieces of the puzzle began to form. Luke's quiet phone calls, his secret trips. Maybe he was trying to protect her. Or maybe he was running from something he had stumbled upon. That night, the phone rang again. Same number. "You were supposed to die with him," a voice hissed. She screamed, "Who are you? What do you want?" Silence. Then, "Look out the window." Under the dim streetlight, a man in a dark coat stood unmoving. He drew a finger across his throat. Her fear froze her in place. Her hand shook. Her mind raced. She grabbed the notebook, phone, keys, and ran. Stairs blurred beneath her feet. Her breath came in ragged gasps. Every shadow, every sound seemed alive. Outside, the city was quiet. Too quiet. She kept moving. Streets empty, lights flickering. Her mind circled around James. If he was alive, maybe he had answers. She remembered Luke's words, "If anything happens, find James." Every street corner, every dark alley felt like danger, but she had no choice. Someone had taken Luke, her baby, and now wanted her too. Her phone buzzed. A message. "Stop looking. You can't hide." Panic clawed at her chest, but she couldn't stop. Not yet. She had to know the truth. She found herself outside a rundown building, one Luke had mentioned in passing. It was old, abandoned, but maybe James was inside. Maybe he had answers. She stepped inside, each footstep echoing in the empty hall. Darkness pressed against her, thick and heavy. Then a whisper from the shadows. "You shouldn't have come alone." She stumbled backward, heart hammering. Figures emerged from the dark corners, silent, faceless, watching. She turned and ran, barely remembering the way out. Once outside, she pressed against the wall, trying to calm her racing heart. She clutched Luke's notebook. James was her only hope. But the city felt like a trap. Every street, every alley, eyes watching, waiting. She remembered the photograph. "You're next." It wasn't a threat, it was a promise, and now she was running for her life. Somewhere behind her, footsteps, quick, measured, relentless. She didn't dare look. She ran blindly through the streets, praying for a sign, a clue, anything. Then a voice, soft but urgent. "This way. Hurry." She turned and saw a shadow beckoning. Could it be James? Could it be salvation? Or another trap? She ran toward the figure, heart in her throat. Every step the city seemed to stretch, dark and endless. Fear mixed with hope, a dangerous, fragile combination. Finally, she reached a doorway, pushed it open, and found a man waiting. James, alive, eyes wary, scanning the darkness. "Luke, what happened to him?" she whispered. James shook his head. "It's bigger than you know. They're everywhere. You're not safe. Not yet." She clutched his arm, trembling. The shadows around them moved. They weren't alone. Outside, the city slept. Inside, secrets stirred, waiting. And she realized this was only the beginning. They had taken everything from her once, and now the darkness was far from over.
Do you want to know what happens next? Tell me in the comments.